Uh, today's gate class topic is circuit breakers. Uh, in circuit breakers, first today we will see part one. That is, in part one we will discuss what is meant by circuit breaker and what is meant by arc phenomenon, and we will see the principles of arc extinction and the methods of arc extinction, and we will see some important terms present in the circuit breaker analysis. So before starting, what is meant by circuit breaker? First, we will see some introduction about the circuit breaker. Why we are going for the circuit breaker? Uh, Generally, during the operation of power system, it is frequently desirable and necessary to switch on or off the various circuits in the power system. Okay. So the various circuits means like transmission lines, various distributors, various generating plants or power plants, etc., etc. Okay. So frequently it is necessary to switch on or off the various circuits present in the power system under both normal as well as the abnormal conditions. In earlier days or in olden days, the function used to be performed by a switch and a fuse placed in series with the circuit. But by using that switches in a series with the fuse, it has two disadvantages. Okay, or two demerits. So what are the disadvantages or demerits means? First one is when a fuse blows out, it takes quite some time to replace it and restore supply to the customers. Okay. The second disadvantage or second demerit is a fuse cannot successfully interrupt heavy fault currents that result from faults on modern high voltage and large capacity circuits. So due to these two disadvantages, the uses of switches and fuses is limited to low voltage and small capacity circuits only, where frequent operations are not expected. So example, for switching and protection of distribution transformers, lightning circuits, branch circuits of distribution lines, etc., etc. So due to the advancement of power system, the lines and the other equipment operate at very high voltages, which carries large or heavy currents. So the arrangement of switches along with the fuses cannot serve. So cannot serve the desired function of switchgear in such high capacity circuits. So this necessary. So this is necessary to employ a more dependable means of control by the use of the device or equipment called circuit breakers. Okay. So circuit breaker means it is a device or it is a piece of equipment which can make or break a circuit either manually or automatically under all conditions. So all conditions means like no load conditions, full load conditions, and short circuit conditions. Okay. So circuit breaker means it can make or break a circuit either manually or automatically under all conditions. That is no load conditions, full load conditions, and short circuit conditions. So these characteristics of the circuit breaker, which made it a very useful equipment for switching and protection of various parts present in the power system. Okay. So now we will see detail about the circuit breakers. Okay. First we will see the definition of the circuit breaker, and we will see the operating principle of the circuit breaker. Next, what is meant by arc phenomenon in the circuit breaker? In arc phenomenon, so the arc resistance, there is a arc resistance plays very important role. So the arc resistance depends upon some factors. What are the factors in which the arc resistance depends? After that, we'll see the principles of arc extinction. Okay. In that, there are two important methods. So we will discuss that methods. After that, we will discuss the methods of arc extinction. Okay. So in the methods of arc extinction, there are two methods. So we will discuss that two methods in detail. After that, we will see some important terms present in the circuit breaker analysis. Okay. So like what is meant by arc voltage, what is meant by rate striking voltage, and what is meant by recovery voltage. Like that, we will discuss some important terms which is related to the circuit breaker. So first we will see what is meant by circuit breaker. So circuit breaker means it is a piece of equipment. It is a piece of equipment which can make or break a circuit either manually or under remote control under normal conditions. Okay, so either manually or by remote control under normal conditions we can make or break a circuit. That is one important function. Second, it can break a circuit automatically under fault condition. Suppose if any fault occurs in the system means, then it will break a circuit automatically. That is the second one. And third one, it can make a circuit either manually or by remote control under fault condition. Suppose if any fault, like single line to ground fault or double line to ground fault or three-phase fault, like or symmetrical or unsymmetrical fault, like that, if any fault occurs in the system means, it can make a circuit either manually or by remote control under fault conditions. Okay, so circuit breaker means, so it is a piece of equipment which can make or break a circuit either manually or by remote control under normal conditions. Okay, so normal conditions is, suppose if you want to do any maintenance in the system means, then we can make or break a circuit either manually or by remote control. Similarly, under fault conditions, if you want to break a circuit means, so it will break a circuit automatically under the fault conditions. Similarly, under fault conditions, if we clear the fault means, then it can make a circuit either manually or by remote control. Okay, so this is the definition for circuit breaker. Now we will see the operating principle of circuit breaker. So generally, circuit breaker consists of two important parts. That is, one is the fixed contact and the second one is moving contacts. So these are generally called electrodes. Okay, so it consists of fixed and moving contacts, which are generally called electrodes. Under so a circuit breaker incorporates manually or by remote control as well as automatic control for the switching functions. So the latter control employs relays and operates only under fault conditions. So under normal operating conditions, these contacts, that is fixed and moving contacts, remain closed and it will not open automatically until and unless the system becomes faulty. Whenever desired, the contacts can be opened manually or by remote control. Okay, so suppose if we want to open the circuit breaker contacts manually or by remote control means, it is possible. When a fault occurs on any part of the system, the trip coils of the circuit breaker gets energized and the moving contacts are pulled apart by some mechanism, thus opening the circuit. Okay, suppose when a fault occurs means, then the circuit becomes open. How it opens means, suppose if a fault occurs any part of the system means, now the trip coils present in the circuit breaker gets energized and the moving contacts are pulled apart from by some mechanism. Due to this, the circuit will be opened. Whenever the contacts of the circuit breaker are separated under fault conditions, an arc is struck between them. Okay, so whenever the contacts of the circuit breaker are separated under fault condition means, an arc is struck between them. So arc is struck between them means the arc is struck between the fixed and moving contacts. So the current is thus able to continue until the discharge ceases. So the production of arc not only delays the current interruption process, but it also generates enormous heat which may cause damage to the system or to the circuit breaker itself. Okay, so whenever the moving contacts are separated away from the fixed contact means, then the arc is struck between the two contacts. Okay, so the production of arc not only delays the current interruption process, but it will generate high amount of heat. That heat will damage the system or it will damage the circuit breaker itself. So the main problem in the circuit breaker is to extinguish the arc within the shortest possible time, so that heat generated by it may not reach a dangerous value. So that is very, very important. Okay, so this is the main problem. Okay, so the main problem in the circuit breaker is to extinguish the arc within the shortest possible time, so that heat generated by it may not reach a high dangerous value. Now we will see arc phenomena. That is how arc occurs when the fixed contact, when the moving contact separated away from the fixed contact, when a fault or any short circuit conditions occurs. So when a short circuit occurs, AV current flows through the contacts of the circuit breaker before they are opened by the protective system. At the instant when the contacts begin to separate, the contact area decreases rapidly, and large fault current causes increased current density and hence rise in temperature. Okay. So whenever a fault occurs in the system, now the moving contacts are separated away from the fixed contact mains. Now the contact area decreases fastly, and a large fault current causes increased current density. So current density means what? So it is a current per unit area. So that current density increases. Now the temperature will increase. Okay. So and hence rise in temperature. So the heat produced in the medium between contacts. So generally the medium uses oil or air. So the heat produced in the medium between contacts is sufficient to ionize the air or vaporize and ionize the oil. So the ionized air or vapor acts as conductor, and an arc is struck between the contacts. Okay. So generally the medium used is air or oil. So the ionized or vapor acts as conductor. So when it acts as conductor means now the arc is struck between the contacts. So the potential difference between the contacts is quite small and is just sufficient to maintain the arc. Okay. So the arc provides a low resistance path, and consequently the current in the circuit remains uninterrupted so long as the arc persists. So during the arcing period, the current flowing between the contacts depends upon the arc resistance. So the greater the arc resistance, the smaller the current that flows between the contacts. So according to Ohm's law, R equal to what? V by I. So suppose if the arc resistance is I means, then the current flows between the contacts will be less. So the arc resistance depends upon some factors. So what are the various factors means? First one is the degree of ionization. So degree of ionization means in this the arc resistance increases with the decrease in the number of ionized particles between the contacts. Okay, so between the two contacts, that is between the fixed and moving contacts, there will be the number of ionized particles. Okay, now if the arc resistance increases means with the decrease in the number of ionized particles between the contacts. And the next one is the length of the arc. Okay. So the arc distance increases with the length of the arc. Okay. So if arc length is increases means then the arc distance also increases. Okay. So we know that R equal to rho L by A. So the distance is directly proportional to length. So the same concept only applies here also. So whenever the arc distance is increases with the length of the arc, that is when the length of the arc increases means then the arc distance also increases. That is separation of the contacts. And third one is cross section of arc. So the arc distance increases with the decrease in the area of cross section of the arc. So when the cross section of the arc decreases means then the arc distance increases because R is inversely proportional to A. Okay. So whenever the area of cross section of the arc decreases, the arc distances increases. Okay. So the arc distance depends upon these three factors. First one is the degree of ionization, second one is length of the arc, and third one is cross section of arc. Next we will see principles of arc extinction. So principles of arc extinction. There are some factors which are responsible for the maintenance of arc between the contacts. So what are the factors which are responsible for the maintenance of arc between the contacts means? First one is potential difference between the contacts. That is a voltage between the contacts. Second one is ionized particles between the contacts. Okay. Ionized particles between the contacts. So first one is potential difference. First we will see potential difference between the contacts. So when the contacts have a small separation, then the potential difference or voltage between them is sufficient to maintain the arc. So the one way to extinguish the arc is to separate the contacts to such a distance that the potential difference or voltage becomes inadequate to maintain the arc. So this method is impracticable in a high voltage system where a separation of many meters may be required. Okay, so the separation of moving contacts away from the fixed contacts, it may be required for some millimeters. So this method is impracticable in high voltage system. That is the first method, potential difference between the contacts. And the second one is the ionized particles between the contacts. So the ionized particles between the contacts tend to maintain the arc. If the arc path is deionized, the arc extension will be facilitated. This may be achieved by cooling the arc or by bodily removing the ionized particles from the space between the contacts. Okay, so the space between the contacts, there will be the ionized particles. Okay, so by cooling the arc or by bodily removing the ionized particles means, then this can be easily achieved. Okay, so these are the two principles or two factors responsible for the maintenance of arc between the contacts. Next, we will see the what are the various methods of arc extinction. There are two methods of extinguishing the arc in circuit breakers. First one is high resistance method, and the second one is low resistance method or current zero method. First, we will see the high resistance method. In this method, the arc resistance is made to increase with time so that current is reduced to a value insufficient to maintain the arc. Okay, in first method, that is in high resistance method, the arc is made to increase with time, so that what will happen means current is reduced to a value which is insufficient to maintain the arc. Consequently, what happens means the current is interrupted or the arc is extinguished. Okay, so this is the first method, high resistance method. The principal disadvantages of this method is that enormous energy is dissipated in the arc. Okay, so the important disadvantage or principal demerit or disadvantage is enormous energy is dissipated in the arc in high resistance method. So it is employed only in DC circuit breakers as well as low capacity AC circuit breakers. Okay, so this high resistance method of arc extinction is mainly used in DC circuit breakers as well as low capacity AC circuit breakers. The resistance of the arc may be increased by 4 ways. What are the 4 ways the resistance of the arc may be increased means? First one is lengthening the arc. Second one is cooling the arc. Third one, reducing the cross section of arc. And fourth one is splitting the arc. So these are the 4 methods by which the resistance of the arc may be increased. First, we will see the first method, lengthening the arc. So the resistance of the arc is directly proportional to its length. So the length of the arc can be increased by increasing the gap between the contacts. Okay, so by increasing the gap between the fixed and moving contacts, the length of the arc can be increased. So this is the first method to increase the arc resistance. And the second one is the cooling the arc. So cooling helps in the deionization of the medium between the contacts. Okay, so cooling helps in the deionization of the medium between the contacts. So this increases the arc resistance. So efficient cooling may be obtained by a gas blast directed along the arc. Okay, so this is the second method, cooling the arc. Third one is reducing cross section of the arc. So if the area of cross section of the arc is reduced, then the voltage necessary to maintain the arc is increased. In other words, we can say the resistance of the arc path is increased. So the cross section of the arc can be reduced by letting the arc pass through a narrow opening or by having smaller area of contacts. Okay, so if you're reducing the area of cross section of the arc, then the resistance of the arc may be increased. Next, the fourth method is splitting the arc. So splitting the arc means the resistance of the arc can be increased by splitting the arc into a number of smaller arcs in series. Each one of this arc experiences the effect of lengthening and cooling. So the arc may be split by introducing some conducting plates between the contacts. Okay. So this is the fourth method. Okay. So the resistance of the arc can be increased by splitting the arc into number of smaller arcs in series. Each one of these arcs experiences the effect of lengthening and cooling. So the arc may be split by introducing some conducting plates between the contacts. So these are the four methods employed to increase the resistance of the arc. So this is the first method, that is high resistance method to for arc extinction. And the second method is low resistance method or current zero method. So this method is generally employed for arc extinction in AC circuits only. The high resistance method mainly used for DC circuit breakers as well as the low capacity AC circuit breakers. But this low resistance method or current zero method, it is employed for arc extension in AC circuits only. So in this method, the arc resistance is kept low until current is zero. Okay. So in this method, the arc resistance is kept low under current is zero, where the arc extinguishes naturally and is prevented from restriking in spite of the rising voltage across the contacts. Okay. So all modern high power AC circuit breakers employ this method of arc extension only. Okay. So nowadays, all modern high power alternating current circuit breakers use this low resistance method or current zero method for arc extension. In an AC system, current drops to zero after every off cycle. Okay. So we know already that in AC system, current drops to zero after every off cycle. At every current zero, the arc extinguishes for a brief amount. Now, the medium between the contacts contains ions and electrons so that it has small dielectric strength and can be easily broken down by the rising contact voltage, which is called restriking voltage. Okay. So if we increase that rising contact voltage, that is restriking voltage means, okay, that a small dielectric strength can be easily broken between the contacts. So if such a breakdown does occur, the arc will persist for another off cycle. If immediately after current zero, the dielectric strength of the medium between contacts is built up more rapidly or more fastly than the voltage across the contacts, the arc fails to restrike and the current will be interrupted. So the rapid increase of dielectric strength of the medium near current zero can be achieved by two ways. Okay. First way is causing the ionized particles in the space between contacts to recombine into neutral molecules. That is, in the space between the contacts, there will be the ionized particles. So the causing the ionized particles to recombine into the neutral molecules. That is one way. Second one is sweeping the ionized particles away and replacing them by unionized particles. Okay, that is by sweeping the ionized particles away and replacing them by the unionized particles. This rapid increase of dielectric strength of the medium near current zero can be easily achieved. So the deionization of the medium. So the deionization of the medium can be achieved by four methods. What are the four methods means? First one is lengthening of the gap. Second one is high pressure. Third one is cooling. And fourth one is blast effect. First, we will see the first method, that is lengthening of the gap. So the dielectric strength of the medium is proportional to the length of the gap between the contacts. So therefore, by opening the contacts rapidly or fastly, higher dielectric strength of the medium can be easily achieved. Okay, so this is one first method. Okay, so the deionization of the medium can be achieved by lengthening of the gap. Second one is high pressure. So if the pressure in the vicinity of the R is increased, the density of the particles constituting the discharge also increases. So the increased density of particles causes higher rate of deionization and consequently the dielectric strength of the medium between the contacts is increased. So the second method is high pressure. Third one is cooling. So natural combination of ionized particles takes place more rapidly if they are allowed to cool. So therefore, dielectric strength of the medium between the contacts can be increased by cooling the arc. Okay. So if the arc is cooled and it is increased means, then the dielectric, that is if the arc is cooled means, then the dielectric strength of the medium between the contacts can be increased. And the fourth method is blast effect. If the ionized particles between the contacts are swept away and replaced by unionized particles, the dielectric strength of the medium can be increased considerably. So this may be achieved by a gas blast directed along the discharge or by forcing the oil into the contact space. So this is the fourth method, that is a blast effect. Okay. So the deionization of the medium in the circuit breaker can be achieved by four methods. One is lengthening of the gap, second one is high pressure, third one is cooling, and the fourth one is blast effect. Okay. Next, next we will see the important terms which is related to the circuit breaker. First term which is related to the circuit breaker in circuit breaker analysis is arc period. Sorry, arc voltage. So arc voltage means it is the voltage that appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker during the arcing period. So whenever a fault occurs or any short circuit occurs means, now the moving contacts are separated away from the fixed contacts. Now what will happen means the arc is struck between the fixed and moving contacts. Okay. So during the arcing period, there will be the voltage which appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker. That voltage is called arcing voltage, arc voltage. Okay. So as soon as the contacts of the circuit breaker separate, an arc is formed. So the voltage that appears across the contacts during arcing period is called the arc voltage. Okay. So its value, that is the value of the arc voltage is low, except for the period the fault current is at or near zero current point. At current zero, the arc voltage rises rapidly to peak value, and this peak voltage tends to maintain the current flow in the form of arc. Okay. So this is the concept of arc voltage. Okay. So arc voltage means it is the voltage that appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker during the arcing period. Second important term is restriking voltage. So restriking voltage means it is a transient voltage that appears across the contacts at or near current zero during the arcing period. So during arcing period, the transient voltage which appears across the contacts at or near current zero is called restriking voltage. So at current zero, a high frequency transient voltage appears across the contacts and is caused by the rapid distribution of energy between the magnetic and electric fields which is associated with the plant and the transmission lines of the system. So this transient voltage is called as restriking voltage. The current interruption in this circuit depends upon the voltage. If the restriking voltage rises more rapidly than the dielectric strength means of the medium between the contacts, the arc will persist for another half cycle. If the dielectric strength of the medium builds up more rapidly than the restriking voltage, then the arc fails to restrike. Okay. So if the dielectric strength of the medium builds up more rapidly than the restriking voltage, the arc fails to restrike and the current will be interrupted. Okay. So these are the various concepts about the restriking voltage. And the third voltage presence in the circuit breaker is recovery voltage. So recovery voltage means it is a normal frequency RMS voltage. Okay, so normal frequency means what? So in our country, the standard supply frequency is 50 Hz. So this 50 Hz is the normal frequency. So recovery voltage means it is a normal frequency, root mean square voltage, that appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker after final arc extinction. Okay, so after final arc extinction, there will be some normal frequency voltage which appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker, which is called as recovery voltage. It is approximately equal to the system voltage. Okay. So when the contacts of the breaker are opened, current drops to zero after every off cycle. At some current zero, the contacts are separated sufficiently. At some current zero, the contacts are separated sufficiently apart, and the dielectric strength of the medium between the contacts, which attains a high value due to the removal of the ionized particles. At such an instant, what will happen means the medium between the contacts is strong enough to prevent the breakdown by the restriking voltage. Consequently, the final arc extinction takes place and the circuit current is interrupted. Immediately after the final current interruption, the voltage that appears across the contacts as a transient part. Okay. So these transient oscillations subside rapidly due to the damping effect of system resistance, and normal circuit voltage appears across the contacts. So the voltage across the contacts is of normal frequency, which is called as recovery voltage. Okay. So recovery voltage means it is the normal frequency, root mean square voltage, which appears across the contacts of the circuit breaker after final arc extinction. Okay. This is approximately equal to the system voltage. So these are some important terms which is related to the circuit breakers in circuit breaker analysis. Next we will see the classification or types of circuit breakers. Okay. Actually, there are several ways of classifying the circuit breakers. The most general way of classification is on the basis of the medium used for arc extinction. Okay. So to extinguish the arc in the circuit breakers, some medium is used. Okay. So on the basis of the medium used for arc extinction, the circuit breaker can be classified into many types. So generally the medium used for arc extinction is usually air or oil or SF6, that is sulfur hexafluoride, or vacuum. So these are the medium generally used for arc extinction in circuit breakers. So according to the medium used for arc extinction, the circuit breakers may be classified into uh, the following type. First one is what? Oil circuit breakers. Second one is airbag blast circuit breakers. Third one is sulfur hexafluoride circuit breakers. Fourth one is vacuum circuit breakers. Oil circuit breakers means it employs some insulating oil for arc extinction. So insulating oil means like transformer oil. So in transformer, okay, in power transformer, distribution transformer, there will be the oil used. What is the purpose of oil means? One purpose is cooling purpose. One purpose is used for cooling the transformer. The second one is for insulation purpose. So similarly here also, in oil circuit breakers, some insulating oil used for arc extinction. So only it is called as what? Oil circuit breakers. Second one is air blast circuit breakers. In this type, high pressure air blast is used for extinguishing the arc. Okay, high pressure air blast is used for extinguishing the arc in air blast circuit breakers. Third one is sulfur hexafluoride circuit breakers or SF6 gas circuit breakers. In this, sulfur hexafluoride, that is SF6 gas, is used for arc extinction. Fourth one is vacuum circuit breakers. In this type, vacuum is mainly used for arc extinction. Okay, so these are the various types of circuit breakers depending upon the medium used for arc extinction. Here, each type of circuit breaker has its own merits or advantages and demerits or disadvantages. So in the next part, in the second part, we will see the various types of circuit breakers, its construction, operation, advantages and disadvantages. Okay. So that's all. Thank you.